night is over, and let's recap everything. And before we start, I'm basically going to cover the whole show, so there's spoilers. So, we're going to recap this show with, I think, 2 main categories, and then one that's a little less important. And the first category is going to break down with all of the characters in the show. Crazy green person that whips people. Good guy. Wait, no, she's the bad guy. Crazy witch tribe. Overprotective Jedi. Crazy Sith Lord, who's not a Sith. A random squirrel. 2 characters I did not like, and then they randomly die. And it's like, some of these characters aren't that bad. It's just the way that they're put in the story just really ruins them. Like, you have Yord, who isn't that bad of a character. I mean, he looked kind of weird at first, but like, you finally develop his character, and then you just decide to kill him. And that kind of happened with like Jackie too, that his apprentice. But yeah, I don't know. They were 2 characters that I think shouldn't have died right away. So it's just my opinion. Next, we have Crazy Green Whipper Person, who tried to hide the fact she caused so many people to die, then has to make this cover-up story of how it's not really her fault, and it's a rogue Jedi who got mad and then killed all his peers, which doesn't really make sense. If I were a senator in that room, I would not have believed that, but that's not my job. So yeah, she's just someone that's, her character is just really weird, and I don't know how she didn't get caught for making that up, because clearly there's no one that whole last sequence was horrible. So let's just move on to the next character. Now we have the start of the show's bad guy whose memory gets wiped. Then we have her not-so-sister. They're the same person, which that did not make sense in the slightest bit, but whatever. This show was written worse than anything that I've ever seen Star Wars get made of. Besides Andor, I did not like Andor. Even though a lot of people say it's really good, I did not like it. But then we have the overprotective Jedi, who, when we see in every flashback episode, is attached and treating someone that he doesn't even know like a daughter. But that's just normal, because, you know, let's act like that's normal. And then they do the worst possible thing that could ever happen. They bring in this guy. And you might be asking, why is it so bad that we see one of the coolest characters finally in a show? And that is because we are now trusting the writers of this show, who kind of screwed it up to, not even kind of, they did, to now be entrusted with writing Darth Plagueis' early origin story. And that is probably going to end up later in the show turning toward Palpatine's story, and it's not going to be that good. But it was still really cool to see Plagueis. I'm not going to lie, he looks a little eerie and creepy. Kind of scared me watching that at 10 at night in my basement when it was really dark. But that's not really the biggest concern of Star Wars fans, I guess. But he did look really good, though. That's something that we can count on. And then we have this guy who's linked to this Whipper person, and I honestly, looking at them, I feel like I'm looking at a mother and son duo who haven't seen each other in 20 years, and now they know that they're with each other, and it just does not look like... Look, I knew a lot of people really speculated that would happen, where Vernestra's Padawan is Kamir, but he is in fact her Padawan, which finally gets cleared up in this series. So maybe that's good. That's one of the few good things in this show, besides maybe the not so bad lightsaber fights that we see, even though like Kamir kills 2 people in the same stab, which did not really make sense, and I did not think that was possible ever in the 10 years that I've been watching Star Wars. So, yeah, I don't know, but I'm just glad that we actually have a cool little story between the 2 of them, and at this point in the Battlefront game, I have the rocket launcher and proceed to get killed in the worst way possible. But no, back to the wacolyte. I personally think now that we've covered up the actual characters that aren't that bad, let's get into the second part of this, which is the plot. Alright, we start off this series with someone saying, "Where is your Jedi?" Like, oh wow, rogue person trying to see a Jedi. We've never seen that before. I don't think we have, now that I think about it. Then we have Jedi and rogue person fight for 20 minutes with lightsaber and dagger, and somehow dagger person ends up winning, which did not make sense, even though lightsaber person gets stabbed in shoulder, but whatever. Then we cut to that evil person waking up, only to find out that, wait, no, she's not an evil person. She's a good person who used to be a Jedi and now is a welder for the Trade Federation, or whatever it was. Yeah, that totally did not have me like, okay, what is this show? Anyway, the next 2 episodes are basically the same thing of like, okay, let's figure out why she killed this person and who this person is. And wait, they're not the same person, they're twins, and that we later find out they are the same person, but also not the same person. I don't know. Then episode 3, we finally get to see where all this started, where they're actually from this witch tribe, and witch tribe is found by Jedi, and Jedi don't like witch tribes, so Jedi kill witch tribe. And it's also the same as episode 7 and episode 3. This show is just horrible. Four out of the 8 episodes are the same episode, basically. So then the group of Jedi try to use the squirrel to kill this person, who then all get killed by this person, and yeah, that's basically the plot. And then the last 2 episodes are them drifting in space, and then we see Plagueis, and yeah. But to be honest, though, I don't really like this show, but there were a lot of great moments, like the lightsaber fights we saw, and the effects were actually very good this time, unlike ruined by all the other Star Wars movies recently. But if I am going to recap this show, there were too many problems, like with Ki-Adi-Mundi being around way too early, the Jedi being made looking like they're evil, and Anakin supposedly being the only person that can be made by the Force. Then no, Osha and May come along to be like, no, we were there first, and all these other things. But I mean, I'm gonna leave it really at this, where it was a bad show, but it was something that had people, I guess, kind of excited or in a frenzy to see every Tuesday at their given time when it came on. And the other thing too is I honestly had higher hopes for this. Like, I thought this would have been like about the structure of the Jedi, and I mean, I'm gonna be honest, I did not watch the trailers, but I thought it was gonna be how the Jedi were back then, and then it would tie in with like Plagueis and Palpatine. But I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna also put this out there too. Here's my last thought. I'm gonna make a couple predictions for season 2 if they give it, or I think they're going to. I'm pretty sure. I just hope Wesley Headland does not write the show. I don't even know how to say her name. I'm sorry if you're seeing this, but don't know how to say her name, and you could have done better with the acolyte. But my final 2 predictions are Plagueis is still gonna be on that planet with Chimere, and it's Chimere. I've been saying Chimere the whole time, like come here. It's Chimere. My bad for that. But I think Plagueis is gonna continue to watch Osha and Chimere, and then eventually Osha kills Chimere over some random stuff, and then Plagueis tries to make Osha his apprentice, only for her to be the failed one, because I think it was Plagueis who had the failed apprentice. I don't know. But something like that is going to happen. And then the other thing we're going to see is we're going to see something with the High Council. And they're going to, now change that narrative of Ki-Adi-Mundi saying, oh, the Sith haven't been around for a millennia. And then he's going to... And the other thing I was thinking about, too, with that is the High Council didn't know that, but he did. And I guess they're now going to know, because Vanestra is going to go snitch to Yoda, who shouldn't even be in that show. Yoda should not be in that show. But I think the other prediction we're going to see, though, is the Jedi being put in a frenzy because there's another Sith Lord around, and they're probably going to find out about the rule, too, even though it's not supposed to happen, and Disney's going to change it. But to leave everything off, that is my final thoughts about the wacolyte. And thank you for watching this, and I hope maybe next time we make a video about the acolyte, it's not going to be this bad. So, alright, with that being said, I'll see you guys in the next video.